Welcome to When Good Things Happen, where our mission is to inspire people to discover and learn about all the things that can really make the golden years the very best of your life and share a few financial ideas to help you make your vision for retirement a reality. Host Tom Gandolfi is your guide on a how-to adventure to help enhance your retirement lifestyle.
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of When Good Things Happen. I'm Tom Gandolfi, your host, and as you know, our show is really focused on bringing you information and ideas and interesting guests that can help you make good things happen in your retirement. So whether it happens to be finance or personal hobbies or lifestyle, we're going to try to cover something that's of interest to everybody sooner or later. And today I've got a great guest on, and I think she's come in at a great time because so many things have happened over the last couple of years, and we've become, I think, more attached to our homes than we've ever been. And my guest today is Rachel Pratt, and she's the owner of Rachel Pratt and Company, which is an interior design firm.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. And, you know, like I said, I think your timing on our show here is perfect. So many people have looked at the same four walls for the last 2 years straight.
Yes.
And we've become much more attached, I think, and comfortable with our living space, but we're probably a little tired of seeing some of the same stuff.
You are exactly right. This is why we are booming right now. The phone is ringing off the hook just with people saying exactly what you said.
Ring, there it goes again.
There it goes again. They are tired of looking at the same four walls.
Yeah.
And they have kids at home. They're doing virtual learning, grandkids at home, pets. People have more pets than ever, and everybody's getting squished in these quarters, and they're looking to do a remodel.
Right.
So we are very, very busy.
Well, you know what else has happened? People are moving.
Yes.
They're so tired of the four walls, they've decided they're going to exchange them for four new ones. And there's a lot of that going on. So, you know, people are going through the process of getting their homes ready to sell. They're staging. And I think that's something that's sort of up your alley as well.
I do that as well. I also do staging. I work for a local realtor, and I go in their homes. I help sellers just purge out some things that might need to be donated, because we all know we have those
Some
things.
of the clutter.
Just the things we sort of depersonalize, which is opposite of what I do when I'm hired as a designer. But the stager depersonalizes, so it makes it more just welcoming for your average buyer to walk in, for everybody to come in and fall in love with the home.
So you're an interior designer.
Yes.
It's about as far from what I do, which is provide financial advice and retirement advice to people as you can get. And I'm always interested to hear how people got into whatever it is they're doing. So let's take the calendar back a few years and tell me sort of where this started and how you became interested in interior design.
Okay. Well, it happened organically. I actually was a teacher, and I enjoyed that. I taught when my kids were home, and I've always loved taking care of my home. I love Pinterest, everything about all those things.
You're a Pinterest lady.
I'm a Pinterest, all those things. I had friends that would ask me to help them with their homes and things like that. And I live in a neighborhood of, the community's over 500 homes. So word got out, you know, so-and-so Rachel helped me. And then I just started turning it into a business. My husband's entrepreneurial and said, you really should just start charging for your time, and you really offer a service to people. So that's how it got started. Now it's grown, and I have a team and a contractor. And
interesting. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Pinterest.
Yes.
Are you an influencer?
I can't say. I technically have an Instagram, but if you ask my teenager, she would say I'm definitely not.
All right. Well,
we all have teenagers. They would say no.
We've all been teenagers.
Yes,
and I'll
exactly.
leave it at that.
Exactly. But I do have an Instagram page which shows a lot of my befores and afters. And
what's that page?
It is on Instagram. It's just Rachel Pratt and Co. ANDCO.
Pretty
just
easy.
Come
okay.
check me out. Yeah.
And you've got all kinds of examples of your work and some things you've done.
Exactly. A lot of befores and afters. Atlanta is it was a booming place in the 90s. It's still booming now, but my community, for instance, is about 25 years old. So it's that perfect age where people are starting to need these big bathroom, kitchen renovations.
Change it up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so what's the scope of what you do? So you design interiors, obviously. It's sort of self-explanatory. But if someone wants to have work done, let's say we've got a situation where somebody wants to stay in their home And, I don't know if you know this or not, but my clients tend to all be retirees. Mm-hmm. So they're people who generally either have a home they've been in for a little while, and a lot of them are very interested in refreshing it, kind of getting it up to date and making a few changes, whether it be a bathroom or a kitchen or maybe just some fresh colors or whatever it may happen to be. And then you've got another set of my clients who are looking to either downsize or relocate. So if someone wants to stay in their home, let's say they've been there for 23 years, and after 23 years, things start looking maybe a little bit familiar, and people want to change things up a little bit. And I think a lot of people probably have never worked with a designer before. So if somebody calls you up and that phone rings again, tell me how that process works. Do you go visit them at their home? Is that kind of how it starts?
Yes, exactly. So when they call, and first of all, I just want to say I offer all range of services. So if someone just wants to do a refresh, meaning paint and some new artwork and carpeting, things like that, I'm happy to do that. But I can also provide the full gamut if they want a full kitchen remodel. But it all starts with a phone call. They can reach out to me. I meet them in person for a consultation. We go over the scope of what they would like to do.
Okay.
If it does involve construction, I then bring out my contractor and we can work up a bid for that project.
Okay.
And I had a client just yesterday who wants kitchen, bathroom, the whole thing. And we're piecing that project into chunks to make it more manageable, both financially and
and more affordable. Exactly.
More affordable, and also you get design and decision fatigue. So we just sort of break it up. We'll do one thing at a time. So after that, we are on a wait list, but as I think most of the design community
everything's a wait list
right
nowadays.
now. I'm sorry to say, but we can just get you in the queue, and we're happy to help. But in the meantime, if someone wants a refresh, I'm happy to go in and paint is your biggest bang for your buck. So I can help them feel like they're accomplishing something, brightening the space, making it feel more homey. Until we wait for the contractor to come in. So
okay,
it's something where we can do it in phases and help people in the short run while we're in the queue.
Yeah, nowadays it feels like there's a wait list for a bunch of bananas from the grocery store. I mean, everything's a wait list nowadays, so I don't think that's really much of a problem for anybody. So the consultation that you do, is that something that you do complimentary?
No, that actually, there is a fee for that.
Okay.
Because a lot of times some people will call me for a consultation and they really just want ideas.
Gotcha.
So I do
Okay.
protect my time.
But you provide ideas in that consultation.
Absolutely.
It's not just, hire me and I'll do the work for you later.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I provide probably almost too many ideas.
Okay.
Most people are like, whoa, where do I start? And that just protects my time. And then if they want to hire me on, I just charge per hour and I work for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So it works out great because it really helps people who want something small done along with the people that want a full remodel. And then I also have some clients who are moving to, like, for instance, the lake. Everyone wants to go to Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
Who are building a home from the ground up. And I meet with their contractor and give them advice along the way with lighting, plumbing, things like that.
So with all those homes, do you make sure that there's a bass mounted on the wall and a gone fishing sign by the back door?
When in Rome, you have to. I love it.
Okay, so that kind of covers how someone would maybe take a look at doing a refresh.
Yes.
What if it's a different situation? What if you have someone who's maybe building a house and maybe it's someone who has always bought resales and they've kind of gotten to retirement now and they've decided to downsize and they've got this fresh, new, clean palette. And it's 4 walls and a few rooms of carpeting, a few rooms of hardwood floors, and nothing else. So what does that look like? Do you do that ever?
Absolutely. I do this all the time.
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
All right.
And it's interesting because retirees are, I love working with retirees because usually they have beautiful things because they've had a whole lifetime to collect these gorgeous pieces.
They're probably not using their credit cards.
They're very smart because they have a good financial advisor. But what I find is they're either two ways. They're either holding on to everything because it is so special, or something clicks in their brain and they've decided they want a complete fresh start. And so they sell every possession on Facebook Marketplace. And then they come to me saying, we don't even have a bed anymore. What should I buy?
I need it all.
And I'm happy to help them and walk them through. Once they give me their budget, I can source things for them and send them links, and they have everything that they need to sort of put the home in place.
Okay, great. So talk to me a little bit about staging. So I think everyone's heard of staging. I think everyone knows what it is. And I don't know, this isn't, interior design is not my thing, okay? It's just not. So the idea of putting my house on the market and moving my stuff out so you can put better stuff in, it's a little bit of a wide gap for me to travel. So tell me about it. Tell me how it's done, why it's done, and how you approach it.
Okay. So how it's done and why it's done. How it's done is I usually, the person meets with their real estate agent. Mm-hmm. The real estate agent calls me, and I come in and I meet with the couple, similar to the initial consultation that I do for design, but it's sort of the opposite, where we're design, you're personalizing. We're depersonalizing, as I mentioned. And I go room by room, and I type up a report of everything that needs to be done in that room. And that may sound daunting, like a report, oh my word. But really, it's a checklist for sellers. And it's redundant room by room, but it could be check the light bulbs, make sure they're nice and bright and clear, wash the windows, take all the pictures down, just make it fresh, add some new linen, some new bedding, something that makes it crisp and clean, that a buyer can see themselves there. You just really want them to be able to see their family there. And so that's what I help them do. And I, again, if it's a gigantic project, and I've had some huge ones, the sellers can hire me per hour. And I mean, I've done everything from packing up boxes to them, taking things to Goodwill, putting things on Facebook Marketplace for them, just helping them get their home ready to go. Because any money you pay me to help is money that they will get back tenfold, because it really is hard for buyers to see amidst the clutter.
The potential of the property, right? So this may be a little bit of a funky question.
Go ahead.
So how hard is it, or is it awkward to go into someone's house and say, I don't like any of your stuff?
Well, I never say that. You never say it. It's all how you say it.
No, but when you back up the truck and say, get all this stuff out of here so I can sell your house for you, it's kind of being said without being said. Let's face the facts, okay?
Well, here's the thing. I am on their team, and I always make sure that they know that. Yep. I'm on their team. I'm here to help them reap a bigger reward, which then comes back to you as the financial advisor, so that's more money in their pocket. So it is really, if they listen to what I'm saying, and I come from a place of kindness, I'm helping them try to sell their house. And a lot of times we're not removing it or selling it forever. Sometimes it's just moving it to a pod, and it's for the next home.
So really it's just business. At the end of the day, it's just business.
It's just business, and it's meant out of, with kindness for their own benefit.
You're trying to maximize their return, just like I do with my clients.
Really, we're in the same
And a real estate agent would do for their clients. So you're really just trying to maximize their return in that situation.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
if they cannot take it personally, then that's better.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, especially for you. So when you go to work with somebody, do you find that people generally know what they want, or they just say, you know what, Rachel, I'm not a really good decorator. I don't really know what I'm doing, so just tell me what I like.
You'd be surprised. More people have no idea what they want. What people want is a place of comfort, a place of relaxation, a place that they can come home from work and have their family over and feel like it's a place they can entertain, a place that they're proud of. But when you say, what sort of style are you looking for? No one knows. So what I typically do is I have people go to Pinterest. We mentioned Pinterest again. And they can send me 30 kitchens from Pinterest that they like. And then I can, with a trained eye, you can sort of see similarities, and I can pull it together and figure out what goal that they are looking for.
And then you tell them to back up the Brinks truck if they want that actual kitchen?
Well, unfortunately, things are pricey, but that's okay. But a lot of things can be done. I can work with most budgets.
Okay, good. So I'm sure you've probably done all kinds of projects, both big and small.
Yes.
Are there any that kind of stick out in your mind that were really good, or really a nightmare, or just left an impression, or maybe someone who was famous, or anything like any kind of famous story?
Oh gosh, I wish I did some. If anyone famous is listening to me, I'm available.
Well, of course there's famous people listening. All my clients are famous.
That's true. Actually, I am nearing the end of a lake house project. It is near and dear to my heart. It was for a friend of mine. They purchased this home years ago, but it was a second home. We've been going room by room, completing this 1980s nothing was to code monstrosity with the most gorgeous view on Lake Lanier. And we have gone room by room, and we are on the very last room.
Nice.
We're almost done. And it is so rewarding to see how happy they are. And then the goal is that they sell their primary home, and eventually they will retire in this lake house. And those are the most fun projects to me, to see the before and after of how far we've come. So
yeah, that's nice. So that was a friend. So you probably kind of had some idea of what she might like, maybe?
Even then, she wasn't even sure. No.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay, but that's what I'm there to help people find.
So, clearly you can't go in and say, well, do you like mid-century modern? They don't know what that is.
No, they don't.
I wouldn't know what it is. I've read it somewhere before. I don't
In
really
the
know
age of
what it is,
HGTV and Joanna Gaines, a lot of people have more terminology than they used to.
Okay.
People asking for shiplap. Shiplap is already trending back out again. But in that day, people would say, I want this, I want that, or they would know the term mid-century modern. But
so they can throw terms around like I just did, but they actually have no idea what it means.
No, they don't.
Okay. All right. So do you ask them kind of what kind of feel they want? Like if they want, if you're trying to get a better picture of what's going on in their mind, which I think is probably a big part of what you do.
Yes.
You got to kind of be a little bit of a mind reader, and you want to create a space that they're going to be really happy with, even if it's not something that you would pick for yourself, right?
That is exactly true, and I do that every single day. I try to morph.
So not everyone gets your style.
No.
They get their style with your assistance.
Yes, and the way that I can sort of piece that together is through looking at, for instance, if they're moving from a large home and they're downsizing and there are special pieces that they want to bring to the new home, obviously we have to work around those pieces. And if they are antiques, I may throw out a way to sort of add some flair and modernize it, but we're using pieces that they love, so that helps me get a glimpse of what they're looking for. And then also with that whole Pinterest piece, if they're sending me 30 pictures of something that they're drawn to, I'm able to take that whole picture and put it together.
Yeah, that makes some sense. And everyone has pieces or things that they want to keep.
Of course.
I actually have.
What is yours?
Not you really care.
I would love to hear it.
Well, the first piece probably would be my sports memorabilia that would be problematic. Now, and I'm okay with it being in a terrace level or a basement or a man cave or whatever. That's fine, which is where it is now. But one thing I have that I bought, I don't know, maybe 28 years ago, 29 years ago, something like that. Kind of funny.
What?
It is a life-size suit of armor.
Wow. Oh, very cool.
Well, it's very cool, but it's also kind of off taste and doesn't probably belong in a lot of different places. But if you were to come and do design work for me at my house, you're going to have to walk around my suit of armor because it's not going anywhere. And you're okay with that, right?
I'm okay with that because in the end, my goal is to help you love your home. Mm-hmm. And that's my main job. That is my main job.
All right, so let's go over again. I'm going to kind of wrap up here. I'm going to keep you all day since your phone's ringing so much. I want you to go back and do some more design work so people can get a hold of you on...
Yes, the easiest way, if your customers are on Instagram, it's Rachel Pratt and Co.
Okay.
And you can do the message feature and just message me through there. Let me know you found me through the podcast. I would love to reach out to all your listeners and meet them and help them.
And that's kind of where your portfolio of work is?
Yes. All the befores and afters are there. You can see some interesting, as I find designers that I love, I will also post some of their things, repost it so they can see sort of what my vibe is. But like I said, I can work with anything.
Work with their vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. Is there a phone number you'd like to leave?
Sure.
Okay.
267-371-3302.
Okay, and that's how you can get a hold of Rachel. So if you're thinking about this, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you've had the same four walls for a little while and you've never worked with a designer before and you just want to kind of check that off your bucket list, give Rachel a call. If you've got a home that you're looking to sell, that's probably something from a financial standpoint you should really take a good hard look at and maybe look into staging. Look, at the end of the day, if you can get an extra $20,000 for your house, it's certainly worth going through a little bit of effort to make that happen.
Absolutely.
So this has been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Oh, I have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope some folks give you a call. It looks like what you do is pretty interesting and fun, and I think it'd probably be a fun process to go through for people.
Oh, it really is fun. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. I know some people are threatened by a designer, but please don't be.
Yeah,
I'm harmless. I'm here to help.
Yeah, she looks pretty harmless today, so I think she's being genuine there. All right, folks. So I'm going to wrap it up for today, and before we go, I'm just going to say just a quick little word about finance. And I know that so many of you have heard, seen, and experienced inflation, and inflation is a very real thing that we're all having to deal with right now. Prices are up. Supply chain problems are still there. I don't think these problems are going away, so we're probably going to have to deal with the challenges of inflation for quite some time. And just a little tip, I know that we all like to have liquidity. We like to be able to feel and touch and see our money, and that's a good thing. Everyone should have an emergency fund. You should have cash on hand to take care of whatever unforeseen circumstances your family may experience or your household may experience. But if you have an excess amount of cash sitting around, it's particularly painful when we are experiencing inflation at a high rate. And that's what we have right now. The latest estimate was 6.8%, which I think is pretty questionable. I'd say it's probably closer to 10%. And in certain sectors of the economy or certain segments of our retail businesses, inflation's much higher than that. Beef is higher. Groceries are higher. Energy prices, gasoline, those things are all much higher than the stated or assumed inflation rates. So as it pertains to your money, if you have cash that is above and beyond what you feel comfortable with for your quote-unquote emergency fund, and you should have at least 3 to 6 months cash on hand. Some people want to have more than that on hand, but when you get past the cash you'll actually need to address critical situations or financial emergencies, you're doing yourself a significant disservice when it's sitting there in a bank account or a money market, making far less than 1% interest on an annual basis. And I know it's safe, and the market's pretty funky nowadays, and there's some challenges, but there's plenty of options you can look at that can and will be productive if you give them a second shot or give them a first look, maybe. Remember, if you have cash, it's great because it's liquid. It's great because it's safe. But a high inflationary period, such as we're experiencing now, translates that cash position into a situation where you're simply losing money safely. If you're sitting on cash and you're making less than 0.5% or less than 0.25% of interest, and we have inflation that's somewhere between 7 and 10%, it's having the same effect on your purchasing power as losing 7 to 10% of your money in the market. So keep that in mind. If you're sitting on too much cash, you certainly can reach out and contact us. Website's 3bfg.com. That's the number 3bfg.com. You can also check out the podcast, which I hope you do, and subscribe if you get a chance. We're available on all of the major podcast outlets and would love to pick up a few new listeners. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something, and I hope you give Rachel a call. Have a good one. See you, folks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to When Good Things Happen. If you enjoyed today's show, visit whengoodthingshappen.com to share your retirement lifestyle dream, access information about our guests, and sign up for our newsletter. Be sure to rate and review us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Three Bridges Financial Group is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investment and insurance products. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management LLC, AEWM. AEWM and Three Bridges Financial Group are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Three Bridges Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute as tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Three Bridges Financial Group.